Our newsmaker tonight is a 36-year-old high school teacher from New Hampshire, and as of today, she's about to be the first astronaut civilian. Christa McAuliffe, also a mother of two, was chosen out of a field of more than 10,000 teachers who applied to go into orbit. Starting in September, the 15-year-old veteran of the classroom will leave her job as social studies teacher at Concord High School and begin 114 hours of intensive spaceflight preparation. She joins us tonight from Capitol Hill. You're on Capitol Hill, but are you still in orbit over being selected?
Oh, I really am. It's just such an exciting experience. I still can't believe that I'm really here.
Well, you're there. Without being too humble about it, maybe you can tell us why you think you were chosen.
Well, it's really hard to say. There were so many people. All 10 of us were excited about teaching. We love the students. We're good communicators. I almost felt that the committee was going to have to put our names in a hat and just pick one out.
Was there any one thing that you said or did or anything that you think may have made your application stand out?
Well, in my application, not only am I very active in my community, but I also feel that fostering a real good national and international awareness is real important in students' lives. I also made my shuttle project something that everybody could identify with, a journal, a diary, something that would connect the ordinary person to the space age.
In other words, that's what your shuttle project is, something that you have to do on the flight, right?
That's correct.
And so you outlined all of this in your application?
Yes, we had to propose a project, and I wanted something that was unobtrusive, it wouldn't get away with the mission, something I could do. I'm not a science person, I'm not math inclined, so I needed something, because I'm a historian, that would tie in with my classroom. A journal seemed very, very easy, something that again would connect the students to history, and I also have been developing a course called The American Woman. And it's a social history. It deals with the common, everyday people behind the military and the political and the economic events. So in this way, it would also tie in with my course.
Well, how do you see that tying in? I mean, what is your experience in space? How is that going to relate to down-to-earth problems?
Well, we always see the astronauts. They are technologically wonderful. They do their scientific experiments, but that is their career. We don't really see space as a frontier, as a new way of living. And in our classrooms, all teachers have to really identify students with different types of careers. What I wanted to do was to give the ordinary person's perspective, to really show them that there was a new way of living out there. And I think that that will be that connection. I really hope the students get excited about the space age because they see me as an ordinary person up there in space and maybe can explain some of the things that the astronauts really either haven't taken the time because they're very busy with their experiments, or maybe just for me to see it in a different light.
Some cynics have suggested that this whole thing is just a publicity gimmick for NASA. Obviously, with the project that you plan to do, you don't share that view, is that?
Obviously, NASA is going to get some good publicity, and I don't have any problem with that at all. The money that they have expended, though, has raised the level of teaching as far as the role of the teacher. They're going to have a wonderful PR, and that's true. But I also think it's exciting students about a way of life that's part of their future. They've got to get ready for this. Their grandchildren are probably going to be on space stations. They're going to be totally different fields. I mean, there's going to be space law. There's going to be business in space. And students have to prepare for that future. And I think this will help them do that.
Is it true that Secretary of Education Bennett is going to be the substitute teacher for your class the day you go up?
He has offered that service, and I think it's going to be wonderful.
When do you leave?
Well, right now, I think the plans are that I would be leaving probably towards the end of September or mid-September to start training in Houston.
Do you think you'll ever, after this experience, be able to return to the quiet life of Concord, New Hampshire, and teach social studies?
Well, that's one thing I can't wait to do right now, just to share it with everybody. I figure I've had 36 years of wonderful experiences. I'm going to have an extraordinary year going aboard the space shuttle, and I hope I have at least 36 years when I come back to do all sorts of different things.
Well, what specifically do you plan to do? I mean, have you thought that far in advance, what you plan to do when you do come back? Will you be going back to the classroom? Will you be going around talking about your experiences, or what?
The contract that I will have with NASA does include, when I come back from the space shuttle, approximately a 6-month period where I will be traveling around the country, mostly to teacher groups, explaining to them what I saw, what kind of information would excite them and would excite the students in the classroom, some practical lessons that maybe students could share, and this is the type of work I'll be doing. After that, then I will return to my own classroom.
You think this is going to help teachers who've had kind of a rough time of it in the last couple of years? Do you think it's going to raise the consciousness about teachers and add a positive image?
Even at this point, I think it has. The 114 of us that met in Washington, D.C. were so excited, and the good publicity that we got out of that and the acknowledgement from our communities that we were good teachers, it has already done that. Even if a teacher didn't fly on the shuttle, I think it's really raised the prestige of the teaching profession.
What about your 8-year-old son and 5-year-old daughter? What do they think about this?
Well, unfortunately, I really haven't been able to talk to them today because the lines have been so busy. But I know that Scott is just so excited. He understands a little bit about the program. Caroline's a little concerned that I'm going to disappear for a little bit of time. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance, and I know that she's going to be excited too.
And Mr. McAuliffe?
Oh, he wishes he was right here. He would really like to have lawyers in space as the next category for the space participant.
He is a lawyer.
Yes, he is.
All right. Well, Ms. McAuliffe, we wish you all the best. We'll be watching when you lift off. Thank you for being with us.
Oh, thank you very much.
Jim?